Hello, welcome to
More with Andrea Quinn.
And this is episode 11. How exciting. I like the number.
Women in chocolate.
And this portion of our episode 2, we're going to talk a little bit more about, of course, Quintessentials and what you do in your workshops. But most importantly is what
wine
balances.
Exactly.
Using your own tools, how your life is balanced. We'd like to know about your husband. Number 3, it's a charm. So let's figure it.
Charm. My husband and I, we work really hard on having a super balanced life. It's really important to us to make sure that we are working to live, not living to work, and how important that is. And I think everyone is reevaluating themselves after the last 2.5 years. I think that they're really looking at, I think I'd like to have dinner with my children, or I think I'm not going to take calls at 7 during dinner. And I think so. It was our own thing too about what we wanted to do differently, and but we've always been people that really wanted to just not have any regrets, personal regrets, that we missed anything for anyone we loved, and also really, really just celebrated life. We love to have a good time. That's our thing.
Can I ask you?
How long have you been married?
That's my personal question. And I know something a little bit about your husband. He cooks and he's a chef. Can we hear a little bit about why number 3 is such a charm?
I think it's because he's just this generous soul. First of all, he's so kind, and he's an artist. As my mother would say, my son-in-law is an artist with a job. So she loves his many talents. He's a Renaissance man that's been very fortunate, and he was in the food industry for a long time. He had restaurants of his own, and so his way of giving is to feed you.
Oh,
so that is something that is a very big gift, because I never cooked. I never learned to cook because I felt that.
Cheers to that.
That's shocking.
Never learned in that whole house of women. Never.
Wow.
That's why it's shocking, that whole house of women.
Because I didn't like to be honest with you, I didn't like how hard my mother worked. And I wasn't going to sling hash morning till night. That just was not going to be my life. And so I really shut myself off to that, which was not good. There's got to be a balance.
Yes.
And so, I used to keep my sweaters in my oven.
Wow.
When I lived alone.
Your sweaters in your oven. Okay, now I got it. I was like, is there some recipe that
somebody gave me a surprise party once, a surprise birthday party once, and I had a bunch of my shoes drying, my sneakers and stuff drying in the oven. Not on.
Sure.
I just had a bunch of things in there. So they started preheating the oven for a party they were giving me, and they started smelling all this burnt rubber, and they opened it and it was like all my shoes and stuff were in the oven, because I never cooked.
God.
I just never cooked.
That's hysterical.
Microwave quesadillas and Progresso soup. That's how I lived.
Yeah.
And so to meet him, he was always, everything was such a big deal. Such a big deal when it came to food. So that's why we learned to celebrate.
You would go out to eat. You love food and you love good food.
Yes.
But as long as you were not at the helm of creating the good food.
Right. But then I really didn't get into good food until I met my husband, because he really educated me a lot on I had my family's good food,
right.
My mom and my aunts, and that was a big deal. My family's from Spain, so it was a lot of, Spanish, Mediterranean, beautiful food. And but my husband, he introduced me to really beautiful food.
Does he make a paella too?
He makes anything.
Does he lure you? Did he lure you in with? What did he?
His creativity. He would create these things that I had never seen. I was like, whoa, this is magical. And so, yeah.
And did you learn not to tell him what to do? So as a woman that I relate to, that, I'm
bossy?
pretty much, yeah, thank you.
I don't know anything about that. It was just a guess.
Oh, yeah. And I'm proud of it.
No, my
because
husband
I'm a
always
good delegator too.
Yes, he always says, "You're not the boss of me," and and he said that for so many years, and then one day I just finally got it, like in COVID. I'm like this. Oh my God! He goes, "What?" I go, I'm not the boss of you. He goes, yeah, welcome. I said, I know, it's been 20 years. I just realized it.
Has it been 20 years?
Yeah.
Wow, well, cheers to that.
Yeah. And in LA, it's times 7 for dog years. So it's like over 140 years.
Right.
I'm 25. I'm going on my 26th anniversary.
You can make it in this town.
Seriously.
Love.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
And you have kids?
No.
So,
Yes, you do.
you
Fur
actually get to
I have fur
enjoy.
babies, a lot of fur babies,
A lot of fur babies.
a lot of
And
fur babies, and we have 11 godchildren. So that's a
Wow. Now, is that because of all your cousins?
and friends.
Okay.
Yes.
Because you have so many cousins.
I know. Yeah, and yeah. So my nieces and nephews.
Well, that and our dogs and our cats and so on couldn't be more. I just brought our dog to the vet. Whoa, it's more money than it is for a whole year of my 22-year-old daughter going to the doctor because there's insurance for kids. But dogs, I don't have the dog
my
insurance.
dog's teeth cleaning was $700 more than mine was. I was like, okay.
Yes.
I rest my case. So there is,
Yes.
something to that, and of course we talk to them, and and they don't talk back. They're children that
Mine
aren't.
do.
Mine do.
They do. I shouldn't say that. My
Yours
little
does.
Cal.
I've seen yours. She talks back.
So if you don't mind, because we like to drink wine, and that's one of the reasons we call this Wine, Women, and Chocolate.
Yes.
This is the reason why today's wine is a rosé from France, and the Loire Valley is a place I know that you love.
Very, very, very special to me.
So I want you to tell us a little bit about your trip to the Loire Valley. But before you tell us several times of your trip, because I'm going to have the did you know question.
Okay.
Did you know that the Loire Valley, their vineyards were planted by the Romans in the 1st century AD? I didn't know that. And the Romans had to make the most of, they had ideal fertile climate, and that it ran along the Loire River.
Valley River, the Loire. Yeah.
That.
But did you know?
Yes, I did.
And did
in fact,
you know?
There are in fact, there are Roman catacombs all the way through the forests in the Loire Valley.
Oh, good. So tell us a little more. So we're drinking a delicious rosé, and they make,
Whispering Angel, which everyone loves.
and it's they're known for their wine, of course, 41% white and 27% rosé, and we subscribe to rosé all day.
Rosé all day.
And
Yes.
so tell us.
Cheers to that.
Cheers to that. Rosé all day.
And that happened to me after you went to Loire Valley with Hillary and some other, and of course your husband and other friends. So when she got back, I became rosé all year for me, but she started the phrase with me, rosé all day.
Right.
So Hillary, here's to you. But tell us about that. And
Well, we have friends who actually bought a decimated town from World War II and created and built it up originally brick by brick. It's not modern.
Wow.
A friend of ours, Jonathan Robinson, he teaches at Parsons in Paris, and he is a really, really well-known person when it comes to studying actual architecture of, the 1700s and 1800s.
Historical.
So
love it.
he rebuilt this town that the Germans destroyed, and him and his friends, they've built it, and it is something that me and my friends, we hold them dear. We hold what they do very dear, and so and it was so funny. We just were about to buy a house there. My husband and I, we were going to go live 6 months a year there. And my husband was going to go in January of 2020 to go do, but it just didn't work out. Not yet, but we're hoping that will be a future for us.
And were you driven somewhat because you enjoy wine?
I enjoy wine. I enjoy alchemy. I enjoy magic. So wine is magic.
Yeah.
There's these
I agree.
incredible
We
grapes,
have to toast to
right?
that on
yes,
the show.
Here's magic.
Wine is magic.
Yes, and so I just love the whole alchemy of it. When you go into these caves and you see these people who do their lives with these beautiful. I mean, here's these grapes, right? And the next thing you know, it's this beautiful nectar.
Yeah.
Right.
And so when you really look at
God's nectar.
yes,
is what
when
they say.
when you look at it, you think there's so much that goes into this, and so much culture, so much community. So many people's lives are wrapped into these, and so
it's history,
yes,
like AD. Look at what kind of history this is.
Yes, it's
way back.
The Romans, and you just can't believe. And we really got into it and really started understanding some of the places like Chinon and some of the beautiful areas that these people, they live their lives, I want to say very simply and deeply. I mean, they are immersed in the depths of these old vines, new vines, helping each other. Joan of Arc is from that area, and it's such an incredible
Now that's
place.
a woman.
that is talk about power,
Power, brave.
And, so that's why it means a lot. My husband and I love to travel, but that place, we both had an interesting feeling. I don't know if you've ever gone to a place where you I don't know why, but I feel very different here. Like, I don't know if I've been here before or something
That's
really
what
happened.
I was going to say.
But
been there.
We really were. It was a very familiar place for both of us. And I'd gone several times before, and with my friends, and I wanted him to go. And then when he went, and he had the same experience I did, where he was like, "This is magical land." So we love going, and hopefully we'll get there again next year.
Did you get to witness them growing? I mean, actually, some of the vineyards themselves. You're saying
Yeah. No. We go there.
And the catacombs. What
The
are you saying about
catacombs.
that?
There's crazy ones in the forest that people can find. Like this one guy was telling us, he's an expert on art from that era, and he was just like, you have no idea. Like if you go we walked 5 miles. So of course he took my husband because I ain't crawling in dirt. Okay, so he and my husband and our friends went that were guys, and they went into these catacombs that were underneath, and it was from the Romans. It was incredible.
Wow.
That is incredible, and inspires me to appreciate the wine. See, that's the one thing that I love. It's, wine, I always say that it's a metaphor, wine, women, chocolate. It's not, but it's a metaphor for this history, how people, what you just said, it's their lives, it's about their terroir, it's about the ground, the air, everything that makes it so, that goes into it, it's love. And so that is the metaphor of maybe love, and women, of course.
And magic.
And magic.
I mean, chocolate's the same way. Chocolate is, right? It's this bean, and then next thing you know, it's this magical substance
delicious
that wakes you up in the middle of the night,
It calls to you in the middle of the day.
In the middle of the day. And, it's all of this. And women, we're magical creators. So, of course, it's all the same thing.
And speaking about women being magical creators, and back to how you, on a vacation, so if you would give us a tip on, while we are balanced and we're on our vacations, and if we're on a staycation, or even so when we're giving ourselves that time, in a beat or so, what kind of tools? Because I want people to read the book and experience your workshops and so on. So it's not the same of you just telling us, but share it with us a little bit of something that while you're there, while you're experiencing, and you're experiencing the magic, how do you not jump right to guilt? Oh my God, this is magical. I'm experiencing this, and should I be? How for us not to pop back? Do you understand what I'm saying?
I think, and if we're talking about being on holiday or some kind of experience that we're having, it's gonna sound terrible, but don't get on your phone.
Yeah, no, it's not
Stay
terrible. Little
present. If you're actually still experiencing it in the moment, then you're not going to be worried about what you just saw, what you have to do, who just texted you, what's next. You're present.
Not even a photo of it.
No, we started doing this thing, even with our nieces and nephews, if we take them on holiday, that they can't have their phones out. It's like the golden rule, the one with the gold makes the rules, right? So we're like, if you guys want to come, there's going to be, and I said, there's these old-fashioned things called digital cameras, and we had to use those in the old days. And so, but when you have a camera and you're taking pictures, it's different.
Yeah.
And for the first couple of days on a holiday, it's a little like, oh, wow, I have to wear a watch.
Right.
I have to wear a watch and I have to and I use a camera. But after a couple of days, you're like, I haven't felt this good. I haven't been this present. And I think being present also helps us as women because we're always 5 feet in front of ourselves, you know?
Yes.
And it's about, so when people ask me just like a little tiny tip, and also, if you're the cook in the family, don't get an Airbnb. You're going to be cooking.
Right.
Yeah. Oh no, I always invite.
There's little tiny, tiny ones. Or let somebody else make your bed. You know what I mean? Like if you're the one working that hard and you're going to invest in this, then invest in something where you don't have to save a little money doing something that you're doing all the time, every day, that exhausts you.
Well, I have a tip in that area when we want an Airbnb or we want to be together night and day it's called I Buy, You Fry. So I invite my godsons who are both chefs and their wives. They love what they do. They're in heaven when they're doing that. Like in shopping in Italy, we've done this several times. In Solvang, I've done it. So that's a possibility too.
So just invite a chef that you know, and just say, "I buy,
you fry."
You fry,
or find out if there's a local person or something that just try to look for little ways that you've never done something that will help you. Like if you don't like driving. See how much a driver is,
right?
And then it's not like LA's drivers. Like
no, of course.
It's different.
Yes.
But people don't know that. They don't know to look for those types of things to make themselves relax on their own holiday. I feel really bad for people that come back so exhausted from their trips because they didn't really take care of themselves.
Oh, I'm going to ask my sister Cheryl, if you're watching, listening, listen to this because she's coming to vacation in New York and she's a doer and and I love that, you know, she takes care of everyone but doesn't take care of herself and always wants to please, which is like, you know, one of her amazing qualities. She's so full of love, but doesn't allow others to do for her. And it's so important in what area that you do so much for others that you receive people doing it for yourself.
Which is actually generous. That's generous for her to do that.
There's a difference.
That's right. It's generous for you.
If we go away with the kids, that's called a family trip.
Correct.
If we go away without the kids, that's called a vacation.
Correct.
Because there is no vacation when you have small children because they want to go here, you got to take them here, they have to see this, they have to see that, they want to go in the ocean, they want, you know, when you have a 5 or a 6-year-old or whatever, you can't be like, okay, go have fun playing in the waves, mommy's gonna, you know, lay
get
back.
a facial, mommy's getting a facial. I'll come, No, but there is a balance there between, okay, we're taking a family trip and then maybe some families can't afford a family trip and a vacation.
Right.
So maybe they can, as you said, they can do a staycation. Have one time invite those in-laws over that you just really don't like and just let them stay with your children and you leave, even if it's a local hotel and just 24 hours. 24 hours of just you. And
and sometimes with girlfriends, I do a lot of girls trips, you know, 3 or 4 girls trips a year, just for a weekend, but just because I want to just not take care of anyone.
It replenishes.
Not worry about anything. Yeah, and just be like I was when I was single with no responsibilities and stay up late and sleep in the morning and, you know, the only thing I'm having for breakfast is coffee and maybe a Bloody Mary.
Exactly. No, and it's funny because
she knows one of the tools already.
Yes, she does. You don't even have to read it. My best friend, she's so funny. She's finally gotten her kids trained to where she says to them, if there's no blood, don't call me. Only if there's blood.
Only if there's blood.
Because mom leaves and then mom. They all have her cell phone. They all have his cell, right? It's like we always would laugh about that. There's always a crisis when she would go away. So now she's got them and then they call each other or they'll call me, Nina, mom's on a trip. I go, I know, is there blood?
Yes.
I got
right.
this.
Or
if there's no blood,
delegate
I'll
it.
take care
What's
of it.
on fire? Nothing? Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Delegate it to a friend. That's
Yes,
another
and
thing.
we do that. We delegate to
Delegate.
friends and right. So
I mean, there are things that happen when you're away with your, your pets and your things that have to be when you are. I know somebody that left. I'm segueing, but I know somebody that left a European vacation to come home because something had happened with her.
happens.
And it happened with the dog, and several of us were talking about would we go, would we not? It already had happened, and it's a big conversation to be able to. How do you navigate something big like that, even when it's your pet? Because
love is love.
Love is love. It's very, very hard. Someone didn't go to a wedding. I just remember that was my nieces. They left to come back from a wedding that was a family member versus their dog. So things do come up. And we can't.
And the better you've taken care of yourself before things do come up, the better you're going to handle them.
Right. That's right.
Right. The more wine, friends, and chocolate in advance.
And so, what do you do? And as I will.
Speaking of chocolate
and wine, but I want to ask you your impact. So I know you're a philanthropist. You give. Well, you're a philanthropist of the soul and the spirit. That's how I see you. You give and give and give. And
I'm a part of She Angels Foundation, which I'm so proud of. I mean, from the beginning. Since it was launching.
Oh yeah, you were a founding member.
I was a founding member. I believe in women taking care of women and helping the world, which actually takes care of everybody. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That is, we make an impact in simple, small ways. Because I know at She Angels Foundation, we pay it forward in a small way. We're like a book club. Would you say?
No.
But we're not a book club. We're a giving club.
We're not like a book club.
We're a membership organization.
Book clubs do not give $5,000 grants to female
give as a
founded nonprofits. So in that way, I don't think we're like a
we're a giving club. So you become. So I'm going to explain what you just said.
Okay.
So to become a member, you join our collective giving.
Right.
Right.
And then collectively, as women, we look for those who are in need, and then we give them grants.
Correct, because they're helping others as well.
Right.
That's right. So it does make a huge impact from a small amount of a membership to collectively we give together. And this is very much how, for these days, how impact can make a big impact without having to put a huge amount of dollars. It's like the Facebook, like the Prel commercial. You tell a friend, and then we all join together. And you have been amazing in supporting by telling those that this is what we do, and we're giving together collectively. We are giving our 18th grant on April 10th.
Yes.
When you will be speaking at one of our salons. And so it's very, let's toast to that.
Toast to that. Cheers.
And we're going to have Amanda McBroom, who wrote The Rose that Bette Midler made famous.
One of my all-time favorites.
Yes, and she'll be singing.
That was like the one song that I begged my piano teacher to let me learn to play because she had me doing all classical music, and I was like, please, I just want to learn one contemporary song. Contemporary, it was like 1983. So I got to learn how to play The Rose. We got to do Cat's Quickies, and we got to taste some chocolate.
Okay. Do you know what these are? Did you?
They're French chocolate caramel biscuits.
Okay. I can only eat the fun stuff inside because I'm gluten-free, but don't think I'm not going to.
I was wrong before when I said we were only quiet when we drank wine. Because chocolate comes in many shapes, sizes, and forms. With a cookie surrounding it. If you're just listening, it's good because I'm just going to shove this cookie in my mouth. Oh my God. So this is taking all of my
concentration
to not eat this whole thing right in my mouth right this second, because now we're coming to a close of this episode, and there's something we call Cat's Quickies.
Okay.
Which is
Couple of quick
Wine.
questions.
Quick questions. Wine, white, red, or rosé?
Red.
Oh.
Chocolate, white, dark, or milk?
Dark.
Okay. Nuts or creams?
Nuts.
Yeah, that's what I have to say to that.
Nuts or creams?
I added that into there because I'm a nuts
Chocolate.
girl. Chocolate, nuts or creams?
Oh.
It's like C's candy.
Yeah.
Box of nuts and chews.
Yeah, thank you very much.
God, I would have. If she asked me that, I would have been like, "What the hell are you talking about?"
I'm glad to know that you clarified that question for us. And
Wait, though, I want to go back to the white, red, or rosé because you were so quick with red. What kind of red do you? What is like your ultimate?
Oh my gosh, it's so hard. I love a beautiful Bordeaux.
Okay, so you like the deep red,
deep, beautiful reds.
Yeah,
from
all right.
France.
Yes, from France,
Or
but I love
Bordeaux.
California. We
You're
do
cheating a little bit.
I know we do
What do
some
we call-
really beautiful, but it's Northern Cal, so I'm doing some.
So it's
you know,
around
I love.
the Bordeaux. It's not called Bordeaux in California.
No, it's not called it's a Bordeaux. It's
Great.
It's a
But-
beautiful. We could have like a cab blend here in
Yeah.
a red blend.
A blend.
with cab here in California, but in France, I really prefer their Bordeaux.
And then when you were very quick with the dark.
Oh.
Well, dark is delicious. It is delicious.
And for me, it's not so sweet.
Yeah.
Like just like wine, I like it dry. I like, I like things more bitter than I like them.
But when we were kids, like dark chocolate, was it only
even
me?
exist.
I thought it was medicine. It was like you baked with
I think
it.
there was only Mounds.
Oh my
I remember Mounds, but I'm an
And I'm
almond
the
joy.
only kid that liked them. Almond Joy and Mounds. I was the only kid in Halloween that would steal those
I
and
loved
give
the
the
Mounds.
rest to my brothers. And they could have all my others, but I loved Mounds and
That was my mom's, mine, and our dog Twiggy. She would go under the counter. My mom would always have chocolate. No wonder why. I love chocolate so much. She'd always have it there for us to drink. And Twiggy would open up the closet, of course, as our fur babies know how to do all these things, and not ever be sick, but there would always be, because my mom got mini packages.
the minis.
And we'd find an opened Mounds, and then we'd,
One.
finally traced back all the time. Twiggy would go in.
Take one?
Yep, because
Wow.
they were a mini.
And that's
she would open.
dangerous.
Yeah. Yes, and it is dangerous for dogs,
Luckily,
but not
Twiggy only took one.
Oh no, Twiggy came from Brooklyn, New York, all the way to
Oh,
California
there you
with my
go.
mom, and
I think my other one when I was a kid was it was the $100,000 bar. Now it's called $100,000.
oh, is that?
Yes, but I love the $100,000 bar.
Well, and the Charleston Chew had a dark, I think, outside to it. So dark, even as a kid, though, dark for you.
The Mounds.
if I liked
I mean,
chocolate at all. Chocolate
that-
was not a big thing for me when I was
Okay.
younger, but the dark was not
and
as sweet.
that really was right. That Mounds was there. Yeah.
Well, we have to ask her the most important question.
And
That is, can you please, and now you've had a lot of important women in your life, but name someone for us who you'd like to give a special shout out to today as a woman who has helped you become the woman you are today.
Well, it would have to be my mom. My mom, she's an angel. She's a cancer survivor. She is a life survivor. She is one of the kindest people that I know, and I wouldn't be who I am if she had not been that wind beneath my wings. So,
and your mom's name is?
Antoinette, but her nickname is Lovey.
Let's drink to Lovey.
Lovey.
To Lovey. To Lovey.
Cheers to Lovey.
And we're going to end today's episode with Lovey on your mind.
Thanks so much, everyone. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for having me.
Bye.
Cheers.
1016 Entertainment.